All right, speaking of dystonia, I went to a symposium for last week, and I knew a few people, uh, but I didn't know a lot of people, of course, because it was a symposium. A lot of people came from all over the state. It was a gifted and talented symposium, which I find very similar to SPED. They're on the opposite sides of the natural curve of intelligence, the bell curve, but they have very similar issues with learning. I know it sounds silly. You got, oh, super smart, and somebody who struggles, but super smart also struggles with a lot of things. And so there's some very similarities to that. When I was there, and there was a presenter in small groups, we're in a small group, and I've had this happen in the past. And she says something, and then she looks around the room and points to me and goes, "You don't agree?" And I'm like, "I don't agree with anything." She's like, "What?" And then she just went on, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll tell her when we have a break." So at the break, I actually was talking to somebody else quick so I was sitting over here, and a person I did know went up and talked to her and said, "Oh, by the way, she wasn't disagreeing. She has a movement disorder." And I'm not the kind of person who's going to call anyone out on that. I would never call anyone out in a room that was agreeing with me or disagreeing with me. It seems like something you do, but it's not something I would do. I must admit, when I was walking away, I felt like going, I could be really rude, which I won't be, but I could be like, "Hey, you calling me out? I have a disability. Maybe not a disability yet, but it's going to be a disability because it keeps getting worse and worse all the time." But, of course I didn't. I need to be understanding that not everybody understands dystonia. Not everybody understands movement disorders. And my head does shake. And when someone asks a question and my head shakes, they just automatically assume that I'm saying no. I hate that. I hate that. But then I have to look at the good side, the positive side. Because if I don't look at the positive side, I get upset. So the positive side is no one ever hands me a brochure when I'm walking out of a building or walking through a farmer's market or some sort of protest. Nobody hands me anything. They look at me and they go, "Oh," and they go right to the next person. In Mexico, I can get the price down to darn near free. So those are two positive things. It's hard to find positive things in relation to this wonderful wonderful disorder, but there are some positive things. So how do you handle when someone literally calls you out for saying no? And I do have to tell you a story though. Sorry, segue here. When I was over at the preschool, when I was teaching at the preschool, it was in the middle of the classrooms were in elementary school. So we had fourth graders there also, up to fourth grade. And so the kids were the last day of school, they were walking around, they were getting autographs. And the one little boy comes up to me and goes, "I want an autograph from all the adults in the building." I said, "Okay." So I signed my name and he goes, "Why does your head shake?" "No." And I said, "Oh, I have a movement disorder." I said, "That causes my head to shake." And he goes, "What's it from?" And I said, "My brain. I have a problem in my brain. It's telling my muscles to fire incorrectly." He goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, "I can do that too." And then he got like this. "Arr!" He goes, "See?" I said, "Yeah. And you can stop it though, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "I can't stop it." He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "That's okay. Thank you so much." And off he went. Now, I would prefer, honestly, adults aren't going to do this, but I would prefer if someone was like confused, said, "Hey, why are you shaking your head?" And then I could tell them instead of, "Oh, you disagree?" No, I don't disagree. If I'm disagreeing, I'm going to do disagreeing. My head shaking like this is not disagreeing. This is disagreeing. All my students knew this was disagreeing. This other head shake was not disagreeing. How do you handle it? And I know I want to say that I've got it down, I can handle everything, but I couldn't. I almost didn't want to go back the next day because it just made everything worse. That comment made everything worse. And my neck hurt so bad when I got home that night that I had to put a heating pad on my back and to try to bring everything back down. Everything was very high. I also have a little neck, goes around your neck and has two little electrodes that zip, 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 zip. And I use that for 15 minutes to help calm those crazy muscles. So just wondering, how do you handle it? And maybe I'm handling it all wrong. I really just want to live my life and forget that it's happening. There are so many times that I forget it's happening, and those are my favorite times. And I realize that it's still happening. No one else is forgetting that it's happening. But, my friends say they don't even notice it anymore because they don't notice it, because it's part of me. It's me. It's part of me now. But people I don't know do notice it. And I don't want to go places. I know that sounds so stupid. And it's not, and my mom's like, oh, quit being such a baby. And I'm like, it's not that. It's that it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt when I get home. And I don't want that. But I'm going to go anyway because it's my life and I don't want to miss out on things. And I must admit, I really enjoyed the symposium. It had some wonderful ideas, some fantastic things to do with students. So it was very good, even though currently I have no plans on going back to teaching full time. But let me know how you think. I know I keep saying that, but how is it going for the rest of you? Do you feel like you're like, it just comes up normally in conversation with people you don't know? There's like, hey, by the way, I have movement disorder. I'm not saying no. I mean, I don't know how to approach it. My husband thinks I should just tell everybody when I meet them, but it doesn't seem to organically come up in conversation. So what do you guys think? Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.